From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John.
Hi, y'all. Arcade Rob here hanging out with you.
And I'm
We have
Al.
the famous Al
The legend.
with us tonight. The man, the myth, and he's will be a legend.
And messing with everything.
Oh, that's all right.
I am not. I always got to play with stuff.
Oh yeah, you gotta fine tune it, man. You gotta tweak it and fine tune it. That's part of being your tech. That's part of your tech.
It is, and it's everything's sitting on this little tripod mount.
Yep.
I got the camera up here, and I got the microphone down here, and the microphone's coming straight out. And in order for it to sound good, I got to get up like this, and I can't. So I think the microphone's going to go back on that up one and come right here.
Yep.
There you go.
The boom. Got the boom mic.
Yeah, I'm going to break the booms back. Everything's been put away.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's so much junk in this place. It's unreal.
Al, I've got rod building stuff. I've got cold tag stuff. I've got fishing stuff. I got a bunch of stuff. So
Dang.
That's all just bags and bags and bags of soft plastics
Dang.
that are on the website, but I got to start promoting everything, and I got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I got like 80 bags on the table right here.
Cool.
Not to mention about 400 or 500 at storage that I haven't even gone through yet.
I understand.
Yeah, it's just trying to get everything straight, get everything sold, get these shelves cleared off a little, start moving on.
There you go, man.
yeah, that's the hard part, getting everything liquidated.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, and that's all I want to do. I just want to liquidate everything so that I can get that cash back in my pocket,
Yep.
and then use it to go buy stuff. Like this past weekend, I was at the MLF Invitational on the James River.
Oh, cool.
And I got to hang out with Brian Carter from Basscast Radio. Brian and I, we hung out on Friday and then again on Sunday.
Nice.
But I spent most of Sunday, with the cameramen. Everybody's looking at the bass boats and everybody's looking at the anglers and the fish is their cat. I'm over with the cameramen looking at the cameras.
Yep.
I got pictures of them. I got information. I found out the cameras they use and how MLF does it.
Cool.
When they're out on the water and you're watching these feeds from the boats, that camera is all inclusive. It has a piece of equipment that acts like 6 cell phones and sends the signal back to wherever they are, Kansas, Kentucky, wherever MLF is located, to the studio. And that's how they do it.
Dang.
And watching all that, man, that really, John, you and I have been talking about some show ideas with anglers out fishing, and that's the way to do it. I mean, then I started looking up the prices.
Yeah.
That's where I was getting ready to talk. I was like, well, yeah, I think our idea is a little more feasible than.
Oh yeah.
Do they still have a drone? They still have a drone guy. They used to have a drone guy when FLW. I was marshal at the FLW Cup, and they got a drone guy. That's all he did. Pilot a drone. And that
he was there Saturday. He was there Sunday. Drone was flying overhead on Sunday and that. And it's funny because I'm talking, I'm looking at the anglers and we're talking to them on Sunday. And half of them are like, yeah, we're going to just pack up here and just basically head up the street about an hour to Smallwood. Because they're all actually just a few miles from where I live on the Potomac River for the Bass Pro Tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This weekend. So I'll be back out there this Saturday and Sunday checking out more camera stuff.
Nice.
But
Good friend of ours, Scott Knoll. He's there. He's one of the marshals or
Yep.
whatever they're called.
Yeah, marshals. Yep.
yeah, they're all out there. It's going to be fun.
Oh, absolutely. I've done it. I've done a couple of FOW Cups. I think it's Arkansas, and it was a blast.
Oh yeah, and I've done some of the old Stren series. Now it's the
Yep.
Toyota series and the BFLs. The only thing I didn't care about with the BFLs, and it was a personal thing, nothing against them. It's ran great.
Yep.
Is you fish all 4 one-day events. You come
Yep.
to that 5th 2-day event, and only the top, say, 20% fish on the 2nd day.
Yep.
And it's like I just spent a whole 6-7 months fishing 4 tournaments every couple of weeks, whatever it was. And now someone who only fished 1 or 2 jumps in on the 2-day, and because they finish higher than me, they get to fish the 2nd day, and I'm fishing for points and everything else, and I'm going home.
Yep.
That annoyed me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think if you fished all 4 days, you should have been exempt from that cut.
Yeah. Something.
But that's personal.
Yeah. Oh, I understand. You preach to the choir.
Yeah.
I know, man. It's
But
you
hey,
know.
the good thing is, you didn't have a fit about it. You just started your own league.
I said, well, I didn't have a fit about it. Not there. I did on the way home.
Yep.
Yeah. I think most of us
Cursed
do.
everybody out on the way home.
Yep.
And what made it worse was it was all the way up in Northeast
Oh man.
by the Susquehanna River. And I had like a 2.5 hour ride home that night.
Oof.
But it is what it is. But other than that, MLF, I don't like that. Catch all the fish you can and we count them all. I still like the weigh-in process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
in
too.
that form.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it has its ups and downs.
They all do. All right, Al. You've given MLF a 8-minute pro or a 6-minute promo here, so
Send them the bill. Send them the bill.
yeah. Maybe they can
In case
sponsor
you guys ever want to get rid of some of those cameras, let me know.
Yeah. Or drone.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
don't like them things for some reason.
Oh,
I don't
Yeah.
know what it
man,
is.
I want one. I want one, but I just can't see paying $1,000 for a camera. I'm going to crash in the water.
Yeah, it's
Or
easy to do.
someone like me is going to shoot because of that damn noise it makes. That wheezy. Yeah, I hate that noise, man. It's like
Yeah.
target practice.
So let's talk a little bit about your American Angler Outdoors Network, and we'll get into the series.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be good. I've noticed in the last few days we've changed the way the network. Instead of having 5 different channels, we combined everything so we have 1 day a week for what we had a channel. A lot easier to program 24 hours than it is 124 hours. So it actually has been working good. We've picked up just in the last 48 hours, we picked up 11 new subscribers on our Roku channel. And I just checked it before the show started yesterday. And was Tech Tuesday. I am very happy. We had over 300 views yesterday alone. The biggest single day viewership we've ever had.
Wow.
And
Nice.
I've been in seventh heaven with the changes, where I think the changes were proper. They were made right. And now we have a lot more. We have to fine tune it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be able to do that. I'm really looking forward to that, fine tuning everything and getting it where we want it. And I think we're only a few weeks away from that. And I'm still hopeful that maybe we could start the new year with the network being what I ultimately wanted.
Okay.
Kayak Monday, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Monday night is XYZ kayak fishing. Every Monday, same, and then 8:30 another show, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. We do that 8 to 11 time slot, Monday through Friday. So like on Wednesday nights, maybe 8 o'clock Wednesday night, it's your show, and then at 9 o'clock, it's another episode from one of our other content creators, and it'll be recorded. So
Yep.
we'll bring them in and we'll trim them and get them in there just right. But
Yep.
that's my goal. And then the rest of the time, the network will just be a lot of stuff bouncing around,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm glad you said trimming because we've had a habit of not sticking to our 60-minute programming.
Nobody does.
We've been pretty good. We've been pretty good lately, of late.
Yeah, we've been trying.
Well, you
I
see,
think
we can take. Go, John. What are you drinking? Coffee?
hey, I think the other night we cut it out at like 56 minutes to make up for the one time we went over.
Yeah. That's just it. And so many of our podcasters are. I think I say, yeah, let's keep it at about an hour.
Yep.
Hour and 5, hour to 5 to an hour and 10. If I say let's keep it at 2 hours, 2:05, I think you guys go 5 or 10 minutes over just to annoy me sometimes.
No, it ain't on purpose.
I will let you know when we have Jennifer Muse on. At about the 30-minute mark, I try to close.
Yep.
Because I know it's going to be another 45 to 50 minutes.
Yep.
Well, that's just it. And you know what? If we have to go over, if you guys are an hour and 15 minutes, my thing is this. If I can put 8 to 9:15, it'll be, Co-Anglers Corners, XYZ show. And then 9:15 to say 10:30 will be something else. I'm okay with that. Every week it could change. I just want to get more so that we have a prime time lineup.
Yeah.
So that every week people can say, okay, we're coming in and we're seeing this show. That's what I want to get to. And then the rest of the day, we can just throw stuff in there so that by 8 o'clock it stops. And I've been putting 2, 3, 4 episodes together to create 1-hour blocks. But it's just one of those things we have to program. Like if you turned on the network this morning, you saw a blank screen. I forgot I did everything. I got everything done. I lined up. I forgot to hit the publish button. So it didn't publish. So it was from midnight last night to about 7:30 this morning. There was nothing but a blank screen.
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, man, I got to remember to hit publish.
It happens.
But
that's the Co-Angler Corner curse. If it's
Yeah.
going to go wrong, it will go wrong.
Murphy's Law.
I'm good now because I'm programmed now right through midnight Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So I'm good through midnight Sunday. We shouldn't have any issues. And hopefully tomorrow and Friday I'll have all new episodes for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night ready to roll. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But let's get into your what made you decide to start your own fishing series?
Well, what we did was we've been doing this for a while. We did it on our own with Gray Goat Lures. A bunch of us started it. We wanted to do something to bring anglers together. And there's so many series out there, and it's like, you got people fishing around the country, but it's always your top 5.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, depending on the time of the year, it's either Florida, California, Texas, somewhere like that that's winning with the top 5 because they got the biggest fish.
Yep.
Right.
So we decided on the slot series. And before Slay Nation, we ran it for 3 or 4 years, and it worked beautiful. We had a little different the first 2 or 3 years. It was a little different. It was 4 fish up to 18 inches in length. So once that fish hit the 18-inch mark, that was it. You could have 4. The 5th fish had to be 20 inches. So technically, the first person that put a fish over 20 inches won. And then after a while, we started, now let's just do it the first 4 at 18 inches, then the 5th fish 20 or greater, and then the person with the biggest overall number wins.
Yeah.
So we switched it up a little. It's been working good. Slay Nation's been really good to us. Frank and everybody there. We have a really good membership. They have a great series, regardless between the Lady Slayers and all their other series and all the different state series and high school, college series, bank fishing, bass boat, john boats, kayak. So they do a lot, and they've given us a good platform to work on. So we run a team series and a solo. So the team, it would be, say, you and Rob, you go for 4 fish each, and then you get that 5th fish 20 or greater, and then your combined scores give you your team score.
Okay.
How are the teams picked? Is that something like Rob and I say, hey, let's do this? Or is it something
Yeah,
that you throw on your computer?
Oh, you guys pick your own teams.
Okay.
So you two would fish all season long as a team.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what I wanted, because we had a father and son team the last few years, and we have a husband and wife team this year. So we have a lot of different teams. A lot of them are just good friends. You know,
Yeah.
we had a few years ago, we had a team that, well, last year, we had a team that was 2 guys that used to fish together, but now they're separated. You know, they live in different states, so they can fish together again.
Nice.
And then we have the solo series, so it's just based on individuals. And what was nice with Slay Nation, you could fish both. So you could fish the solo series and the team series.
Oh.
Okay.
Because they were held at the same time. And what I like about it, we don't hold you down to one day. You know, most tournaments, all right, you know, we're fishing Saturday. Man, I can't fish Saturday. I got to work.
Yeah.
Well, with our series, you can fish Saturday or you can fish Sunday. So we give you that extra day for those who work Saturday. We did. It's something we started when we were doing it before Slay Nation, because we had a few guys that, you know, we even did it on Friday for one of our anglers because he was a prison guard down in Florida, and he worked most Saturdays and family on Sunday, so Friday was his day off.
Yeah.
So we tried to accommodate everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it if you gave me 4 18-inch fish to start out with and gave me a 27, 28, you know.
Yeah.
That'd be a good accommodation for me.
You know what? You're like me, though. You'd still lose because somebody comes back with a 29.
Yeah, you see how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes for all of us.
I'll get one of those.
No matter what we do.
Get one of those Bass or the pillows at Bass Pro Shop. They're like a body pillow. No, I think it's great, and you know,
I'd have to go to Bass Pro Shop to fish. Is that good? Yeah, hey, that points it. Is fishing at Bass Pro Shops in their big time, would that be considered bank fishing?
No, because you're at Bass Pro, you're not at the bank.
That's true.
Yeah,
GPS.
They don't recommend you hook and fish, so
no, they frown on that.
Yeah, just so you know, personal experience.
Oh.
But, yeah. So, you have a tournament. Is it a month-long tournament coming up, or?
No, what we did was we have the 2025 TAAO. I'm looking up at the other TV. I got it all up. It's kind of like a little way for me to look. The Outdoors Slot Tournament. So what it is, it's basically the network sponsoring, and this is a one-day tournament. It's just one day. we want to introduce the slot series to a new group of people.
Yeah.
People that might not be members of Slay Nation or might feel, hey, it's too late in the year. I don't want to spend all the money. Well, here's a way. Come and join us. See what it's like, for next year.
Cool.
So I wanted to get people involved, and I figure this would be a nice way to get people involved. Just a one-day tournament. See if we get some people involved so we can build up the series for next year. An investment in next year. But you're right. It is one day, but I was thinking about doing it in September as a month-long event.
Okay.
And then I actually had a thought about doing the 4 up to 18. And then since we're online, we're not held to any, the maximum you can bring back is 5 fish. Let's do 2 fish over 20 inches since it's a month-long series.
Right.
Like if you have, or maybe a lot of slot series, Rob, you might be able to agree with me on this, but you have to have 3 over 14 in order to have 1 over 20.
Yeah. Yep.
There's little things like that. So maybe what we'll do is if you have 3 at 18, then that 4th can be 20 or over. So you can have 3 at 18, 2 at over 20, but your first 3 must be 18 inches or more. But then it leads to some other questions. Did he catch the same fish today and tomorrow? So he had 2 at 18,
Yep.
So we got to figure out, we have to be smarter than the anglers when we set it up, because these guys will find every way.
Oh, I know. What if you did like you could fish 1 day a week and count it towards that way? Because that way, I mean, it'd have different timestamps.
Well, that's it. That would be good. We put a week as Sunday through Saturday.
Yep.
So you can submit fish for just 1 day. So you can fish on Tuesday and submit your fish to get that 4 at 18, 1 over 20. And then the following week, if you got 4 at 18, you got 22, and the following week you're going for 22 or higher.
Right.
So you can fish that one fish. You can submit that one next week.
Yep.
That's a thought. We were going to do a weekend series where you can fish 1 or 2 days. You can fish one of the days or both of them. There's several ideas I have bouncing around. I want to get more people involved, and I want to find out where people like where it's going.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. I'm administering it. I'm the director, whatever, promoter, all that. But it's the anglers' tournament. The tournament belongs to them.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to, everybody sits there and says, well, here's our rules. Boom. That's it. Fish it or not. I want to create a series where the anglers sit back and say, hey, 4 at 18, 1 at 20 or greater. If that, you can fish 1 day a week or 1 day during the month. You just pick which day during the month you want to fish. We could do something like that. You have all month to pick which day you want to fish. But I want to give people an opportunity to get out there and fish.
Absolutely.
And the nice part about the CPR style tournaments, you look at some of the entries in my tournaments, you'll see their identifier tag has 4 or 5 tournaments on it.
Yeah.
So you got that 18-inch fish, you're going to submit it to mine, but you're going to submit it to others. Now, if you got one that's 19, you're not going to waste your time sending it to me because it doesn't count. But you got all those other tournaments you're sending it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does. I like that because you can get out there and fish, 3-4 tournaments a day.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you restricted as far as modes of transportation? Like, do you have to be in a certain type of boat, or can you fish out of, like, one guy has a bass boat and one guy has a kayak, one guy has a John boat?
Slay Nation is open to any boat, any type of vessel, even bank fishing. You can fish off the banks.
Yep.
You can fish two people in one bass boat. You can, if you want to do solo or team, you can both do that. You can fish in separate kayaks, separate boats, separate days. You know, you and Rob don't have to fish the same day. You know,
Yep.
John, you fish on Saturday, and Rob, you go out on Sunday and fish because maybe where you are, Sunday's a better day to get out on a kayak.
Yeah.
Whereas in some parts, it's Saturday you get out. You might want to, I can get out on Saturday because I got a bass boat, so I can get anywhere I need to.
Yeah.
But kayak, we want to go out on Sunday, won't be as rough.
Yeah.
But yeah. But now the one we're having in July, the TAAO Outdoors Tournament, is kayak only.
Okay.
That's kayak only. I want to get back to the roots on having a kayak series, and then maybe we'll have a open series, which is open to all types of boats.
Yep.
But the kayak series
that.
is how we started. You know, we started as a kayak series. I want to get back to that.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, a friend of mine, Chris Boring, he was on your pro staff with Gray Goats.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chris is a great guy.
Yeah,
I want to
absolutely.
say, I want to say prayers to you, Chris. His father passed away this past week, and
Oh man,
our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family.
Absolutely.
truly. Same
So-
from all of us. Chris
Yeah.
is a wonderful guy.
He is.
That he designed a few great spinner baits, man. I'll tell you that.
I still got two of them. The green perch. I got two
Yeah.
of them still. Yeah. Good little
Yeah,
baits.
Chris did a great job on those spinner
He
baits.
did.
The
Awesome bait.
baby bass.
Yep.
Was the baby bass head with the baby bass skirt.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Great
gold
guy.
blades, I think, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, man! You should have seen this place when those gold blades showed up. I opened up that box. My wife looked in it. She goes, "What are they?" I said, "You don't want to know." And it was almost $800 worth of blades.
Oh wow.
They were 24 karat gold plated blades. It was
Yep.
number 5 willow and number 3 willow.
Yep.
Yeah, they cost me about $1 a piece, whereas a nickel number 5 willow was like 25 cents.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
that's probably Hildebrandt too.
yeah, and they sold like you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
They were big sellers, especially on a white head with a white sparkle skirt. You couldn't keep those in stock. The guys down south loved them.
Oh yeah.
We got a couple comments that have been up here for a while. Greg Bogan says, "Hello, good evening, gentlemen."
How's it going, Greg?
Hey, Greg. I've been
And,
looking at it. He's been writing.
Yeah. Not on the weekend. Less traffic on the lakes.
Yep.
And he knows Chris.
Great. Good.
And prayers.
Absolutely.
And he says, "You're talking some older stuff. Love the original Terminators."
Oh yeah.
I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Terminator spinnerbait because I broke so many arms on them. Believe it or not, I mean, it was like the old Picasso spinnerbaits. I loved the way everything looked, the way they ran. But the smallmouth, I mean, you'd get one or two smallmouth and you'd have to throw the spinnerbait away.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I got to turn something on.
That's all right.
Yep. Yeah, Terminator was hot on the TVA lakes around Knoxville. That was a big thing back then.
I got to turn the fan on, man. It's hot in here.
Oh, I mean,
But
I
yeah,
just got done mowing, so I'm just cooling off.
it's some of those old spinner baits. You know what? The shaft was very thin because they like that.
Yeah.
The way to shaft. I personally didn't care for that.
Yep.
I do have a couple of guys. That's what they wanted. They wanted those shaft. Those. I was like, well, there's other people that make them. You know, I make a spinner bait for the average angler. You know, something everyone can throw, and something that's going to last. Like you said, Rob. I mean, Rob, you're just one of dozens of people that I go places and people still show me spinner baits from 10 years ago that they bought from me, and they're still throwing them. You know.
Yep. Yeah, they got a prize spot on my rack, so believe me.
Yeah.
And talking about old spinner baits, used to when I was 100 years ago, when I was in high school in the 80s, we had man's jelly worms, and we had the old lunker lure buzz baits,
Yeah.
and then the snagging Sallies. That's all we had, and we go pond to pond skipping, pond hopping.
Yeah, we had those bloodworms. They were about 10 inches long with two hooks, one in the front, one in the back, and the little propeller blade with the little red beads up front. And maybe you had a propeller blade in the tail. Yeah, those were everywhere back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, the good old days.
Those were fun. Oh yeah.
So, you got anything coming up? I know we talked a little bit about next year. Do you have any plans for next year for the slot series, or don't want to throw that out yet?
We're going to continue with the team series and the solo series.
Okay.
But I want to grow them as much as we can. I want to have, the team series. We're with Fishing Chaos, and Jesse and them are working on our way to do the team series. We do the team series a little different than they do.
Yep.
If we did it their way, I wouldn't have issues. But they have to literally rewrite the book to do it the way we do it. So after this season's over, if it's just too much for them and they can't do it, we're going to reconfigure the team series. The thing with the team series through Fishing Chaos, you go on, you register.
Yep.
John Stoutinger, Rob, blah, 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 boom, 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 boom. You pay your fee.
Yep.
It's a one person pays the fee. So, John, you would get Rob's share from him.
Yep.
The way I do it, each angler registers themselves and pays their own fee.
Yep.
Because, you got different guys from different places. It seems to work out better their way. It just say, okay, I'm going to get one fee, so it's $35 and $35. So it'd be $70 for the team series. You pay the $70, and that's it. I don't care how you two work it out. But that allows for everything to work out just right. Because I've followed some of their team series events with the way they do it, and they work beautiful. You get team standings, you get all this. So we'll probably do it their way.
Okay.
If they can't figure out my way. It's not going to be one of those my way or the highway. It's going to be which one, if we can work it my way, I prefer. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. I think a lot of teams will be okay with the idea. I mean,
absolutely.
We're not talking $200-$300 for teams.
Okay.
And then the solo will do like we have been, and we'll leave both series open to any type of watercraft or bank fishing, and that'll be it. Then we'll do a solo kayak only series. So, and that one we might run a little different. There's been maybe go from Saturday this week through Sunday next week. So it's a 9-day event.
Yeah.
This way, you can fish any and every day during that time. But if you can't get out on Saturday and Sunday because of weather, and that's always been a bad, if somebody say, oh, man, it's pouring out both days, So that's always been a hard to handle. So if we do it that
Right.
way, then somebody can say, hey, it's easier for me to go fish on Tuesday
Yep.
because there's not as many, like Greg just
Yep.
said,
Yep.
boats on the water.
Yeah.
Some of us, and John, you're there, and Rob, you're there, and where you are, you try to get a kayak out on some of these lakes on a Saturday or a Sunday, you can't do it.
Yeah.
But if you can go out during the week, it'd be so much nicer.
Oh yeah,
I have an
absolutely.
idea. I think you ought to have a Memorial Day tournament.
We could, but Memorial Day is a weekend. That's too long.
Yeah,
There's too many tournaments going on that day.
exactly. And too many pleasure
Well,
boats, jet skis. So no.
That's what I'm thinking, because that's usually the first day everybody wants to get their boat out in the water. And it's, a couple of my friends and I, we used to go down to one of the lakes and watch people try to back in their boats. And
Oh yeah, that's a show. That's a show.
yeah, sit there with a couple adult beverages and watch in our lawn chairs.
I was going to say the same thing. We used to go to Lake Anna on Memorial Day, and the most fun was watching people backing those boats up.
Oh man.
I was like, man, I'd love to be an insurance adjuster. You make a fortune sitting here. But yeah, I think we'll have a lot of changes next year, but
Okay.
we're going to see where it goes. I think they're all going to be positive. It's something I want to keep building. I want to keep growing. Just like John, we spoke about some tournaments that I want to see us get those up and running.
Yep.
I think those are great ideas. So we have a lot planned, a lot going on. Right now, getting through this season, we have months where we'll have high entries, and then other months we have low. But we're getting, I think July and August will be pretty good, because people will be able to get out more. So, and then September, and then we ended October. We always stopped in September. This year we're going through to October.
Yeah.
I believe.
Nice. How about you do an ice fishing tournament? That'll be great down in Florida.
Not even the field.
Yeah. Would they get to go out one day for 2 hours once a year? They got ice.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just like Greg out in Texas, man. I'm sure he could probably count on one finger how many days those lakes froze over.
Yeah. I don't even need the whole finger.
No.
No, I was at Fort Hood. If it got cold, and it truly was, hell froze over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a couple of Army buddies who were from Fort Hood area. I'll tell you, they weren't all right. I'll tell you.
No way.
Yeah.
I think they got fried in the sun.
Yeah.
It gets hot out there, man. I can remember some brutal days, and we're not talking July and August. We're talking November. March. Some of those days were hotter than I was wishing I was back here in July. Some of those winters. But we're gonna
go ahead, Al.
Nah, go, John.
I went to basic in Missouri. End of July, all of August, and the first couple weeks of September.
Ooh.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yikes.
My basic was June, first week or two in July, in Fort Gordon, Georgia.
Ooh.
So it wasn't too bad. It was bad, but not that bad.
Yeah.
But I think all of us have gone through summer basic at the worst time of the year.
Oh yeah.
And sitting in those metal tuna cans for class and having to, have to try to stay awake. Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wipe the sweat off.
all the gear and everything, and
Yeah.
the forced marches, and that's when that crew cut came in handy. Then
Yeah.
we understood why we got it.
Yeah.
It was handy.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna see some changes in the slot series as far as the format goes. We're gonna kick some things around. Like I said, this one we're having, the TAAO outdoors, that's going to be a kick around format. Format to just kick ideas around. July we got 1 day kayak only. Maybe August we'll put like we were saying, maybe a 9 day tournament from Saturday this week through Sunday next week. And you can fish any and every day during that time. And maybe September we'll maybe do, if you got 4 fish at 18, then you can have a second fish over 20. Or we'll just do 3 at 18 and then 2 at 20 or greater.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can do, and that's what I want to do. I want to play around with it. I always like to get everybody involved's opinions. And John and Rob, you guys know with the network, whenever I want to do something, I throw it on our chat group.
Oh yeah.
I like getting everybody's opinions.
Absolutely.
Because that's what makes it work. And like I said, it's the anglers. It's their tournament. It's not mine. I came up with the idea, but without the anglers, the idea means nothing. So we got to tweak it a little to make everybody happy, or to make, we might tweak it, lose 2 people, but pick up 10.
Yeah.
So we got to find that nice ground where we can keep everyone active and involved. And I got to get a new chair that I don't keep slipping out of. Sorry, by the end of the show, I'm on the floor.
Oh boy.
I hate this chair. What you get for spending $15 at Walmart?
Oh boy.
Well, we can. We'll definitely do what we can to help you out. Not just with the series, but with the network.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get to participate in some of these. And
yeah, I mean, we have a good time. The other thing I like is, I don't want to put anything against Tourney X. They're a great site. They do a great job, and that's why they're so big. But the difference for me is, because we're a slot series, so we got 4 fish to 18, 120 or greater. With Tourney X, everybody would put all their fish in. So I'd get guys calling saying, "Hey, technically the top 5 has their 5 fish have fish in that 19 and a half range." I know I haven't gone through and denied those yet. I got to go in and deny everything in that 18 and a quarter to 19 and 3/4 range. And it was constantly, every day. I was like, every 20 minutes I was on here bouncing around. Whereas with Fishing Chaos, it only scores fish up to 18. So I got my 4 fish up to 18 and 120 and over, and then it combines the 2 scores together.
Nice.
So I don't have to jump on there every hour to look at who put a 19 and a half inch fish in, because it's just not going to put it in. It's going to deny it automatically.
Yeah.
So for me, it works out great.
Absolutely.
That's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to see. I got to see. And, I got to tell everybody, even if it looks like it's 18 and a quarter, send it. Because I'll blow it up. And if it just barely misses that 18 and a quarter mark, it's 18.
Yeah.
Sometimes on a boat, you might not see it. If it's 19 and 3/4 and it looks like it just barely touches that 20, send it in. I got the big screen. I can blow it up. I can sit here and look at it. And if I don't see any, if I see a fin, if I don't see yellow, whatever color your bump board is. If I don't see that between the fin and the number, then it's a 20-incher. Don't give up that 20 because you can't see it too good on outside.
Yep.
So I've never participated in one of these events. What's to stop somebody from catching a 27-inch fish and then holding that until they get their 18s? Is it
So you don't have to get 18 first. So
okay.
you can post a 24-inch fish as your first fish.
Okay.
And then you might sit there, and at the end of the day, this is the other thing I like. You might have a 17-inch, a 17 and a half, a 15, and a 16. And then you got a 22-inch. Whereas the other guy might have the same, but only a 21-inch. So you beat him by an inch.
Yep.
So you don't have to get 18 inches. We were where it had to be 20. You couldn't go above or below. So we changed that to now 20 or higher. It adds a little more excitement.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can have, as long as it's 12 inches or longer, 12-inch minimum, and then so you can have 4 at 12, and then 1 at 23. The other guy can have 3 at, 15 and 1 at 23, but you still win because you got that extra fish.
Yep.
So it goes by total inches of all 5 fish.
Okay.
Regardless if you have 4 at 18. You can have 17, 17, 17, 18. So it works out good that way. And I think it's a great way to go.
It is.
Maybe we get a hold of the guys over at Side Pot, Maybe we get a hold of
there
them.
You go.
If they want to throw the series on there.
And what's really bad, like happens to me, I get a 20-inch on there and I put it down and I get distracted and like you blink your eye and it goes whoop. So I'm working on kind of putting my net. I know that some guys put their net on the one side that's across from the butt board. So I'm working the kinks out on that.
And I've shown this to people and we've done stuff with it. And people are like, well, what's to say they don't push down too hard on the fish? We go with catch boards only. And catch boards are metal. They're metal, aluminum, so they're a little harder to bend. Not like the old boards, you can actually bend it and make that fish look a little longer than it was. Yeah. But now, thanks to Catch,
they're solid,
and some other groups, they've made some real progress in these boards. And making it so it's harder to cheat on the board side.
Yeah.
And I've had a few people ask, why don't we do the same thing, but by weight? And I'm like, you want to trust the weight to somebody sitting on a boat?
Nope. There's so many different scales. There's so many different scales too. I mean,
there is. Yeah. I know MLF, they got those really great scales. They got those nice scales that before an event, they're all identical. And then they have the marshals who are doing the actual weigh-in.
Yeah.
So if I could do something like if we did a live tournament and we said, all right, we're bringing in the top 25 anglers and we could get 25 marshals and they were on bass boats, that would be a different story.
Yeah.
But I think the measurement is a perfect way to go for what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I like it. It sounds fun. I hope to get into some next year. Got too much going on right now, but hopefully next year it'll calm down a little bit for me.
Yeah, they're a blast.
Yeah.
They're a blast. Now KBF, they do something interesting, like on bigger tournaments, I guess, the monthly or whatever. You measure your fish on the weigh board, and you're supposed to video you releasing the fish. And if something comes up, challenge or something, you got a video you releasing the fish. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they've gone to that video release. I haven't physically seen it yet. I'm gonna take some closer look at it, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it. And you have to, you put your fish on the board, you take your photo, then you do a video showing it being released.
Yep.
So,
and you get your timestamp and all that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I've had people ask me about fish. They're like, well, that fish looks like the same as the other one. They're both 20 inches and they look identical. But I look at things, I don't want to give away any secrets, too much secrets, but there are so many things when these guys are taking photos. You get the timestamp in that, so that helps.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Every fish has something, just a little something, a little color, a little color here, a little something there. The fin is a little darker. It's enough that once you've looked at 200-300 fish in a day, you can tell the difference between them.
Oh yeah.
But you also look at the boat or the kayak. If I sit there and I see the same coffee cup in the same spot, and you caught this fish at 10 a.m., then you caught this other one at 2 p.m., and that coffee cup is in the same spot, I'm going to question it if they look alike.
Yeah.
Because you're kicking around. So you look at where the rod's placed. You look at where the numbers are. Sometimes you'll get that identifier card. You'll sit there and the identifier card is right here.
Yeah.
And then next time it's over here a little. It moves around, based on you because you bump them. Some people just slip it in there when they put the fish on. So it's in different spots. There's a lot of things we have to look at, not just the fish itself, but the surrounding area.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And sunny or shady. I mean, there's definitely.
Yeah. Where's the shade?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. We got another guy off the hook outdoors here.
Yep.
Saying, "What's up, Al, Rob, and John?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you been?
Hey,
It's been a while since I've seen you."
Yep.
Yeah.
He said,
Well,
I like the guys that cut the bump boards to get those 20-inch numbers.
Yeah. Now, thank God, the new boards are harder to do that too. You know, and and I think that's another reason KBF went to the the video release, because you're showing the board.
Yeah.
So they can see that the board is one piece.
Yeah.
Ted and I spoke Sunday. We talked a little Sunday. I was down at the James River. But we got to talk a little on the phone then. He's up in his cabin. Did you get the bathroom done? I know his big thing was to get the bathroom remodeled as soon as he could so he can get out fishing. So hopefully he got that done. He's been out fishing. But there are so many ways. The old way used to be to put the board on your knees.
Yeah.
So, you would have the board like this on your two knees, and then you push down on the fish and do that with the board. Just enough to catch that extra quarter of an inch. If you did that for 5 fish, that's 1.25 inches longer for the whole day.
Oh yeah.
So there are little ways to do it.
But you're not like you said, you're not bending the catch board like that. I'm sorry. Things are solid.
If you bend the catch board like that, it's staying like that. So
you can stand up on that thing and ain't bending.
But and I think Catch, thanks to the people over at Catch, again, they don't sponsor us in any way, shape, or form, but they've really helped improve the CPR style of fishing. They've done so much to make this more legit. I mean, there are still ways to do it, but they've made a big difference,
Oh, yeah, it has. And it's just.
He says, still doing it, almost done, haven't been out, hopefully tomorrow, last day. Been in the 90s, so not hurry to get out, but he's getting the itch to bite.
Oh, yeah, frog bite.
Frog bite itch.
Upon us. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's.
All right.
I got to get out too, man. The rod's sitting in the living room. My wife is still arguing. How long is this going to stay here? I said, until I can get out and do some fishing. But every day I'm either on conference calls or working here or doing this. There's always so much going on. It's
never enough hours in a day, man. I hear you.
There isn't, man. It's like it seems like the more I try to slow down, the faster I go.
Yep. I agree with you.
Yep.
So
All right, Al, we're about 55 minutes into this, and I know our director will scream at us if we get too much longer. And
It'll be all right.
I know one show that won't make it to the next Wednesday night. Yeah, but we in a nutshell, the series has been doing good. We've, you got to be a Slay Nation member to do the Slay Nation tournaments. And I know it's late in the year, but still, it's a great deal. There's just so much going on at Slay Nation. Not just with our series, but all kinds of series throughout especially the East Coast, but they're branching out. They're moving further and further west. We do have the July one coming up, the TAAO Outdoors Slot Tournament. If you go to the website, I have it up on the upper screen. You go across the top, you'll see in the middle the National Slot Series, and then off to the side, you'll see the TAAO Outdoors Slot Tournament. So we got that. It's a one-day open. Anyone can be part of it. We're going to do a lot of shows, a lot of little stuff leading up to it to help people out. We have a lot going on with the network. You guys have heard a lot about it. You guys have been part of a lot. We have the Live Well is going to become a new podcast that I will be hosting temporarily. We will be looking for an actual host to take over permanently. And I just want to sit back. I don't know if you guys went on Facebook the last few hours and saw the video I posted.
no.
But it's on the TAAO chat, the American Angler Outdoors Facebook page, my personal. It's a little 2.5-minute video, and it shows everything that we've done here. It shows the monitor, it shows the upper monitor, all my editing tools, how we can just bring scenes in and scenes will drop out. It shows where I want to go with everything. I want to have a news style show.
Yeah.
Right now it'll be taped. So we'll probably tape it on Wednesdays throughout the course of the day and then show it that night. But eventually it'll be a live show. It'll be done live on Roku, iOS, everything. We have been talking in the last week with the people. They're working on how we can get our live feed onto our Roku and all that. So they're working on getting us that HLS URL that we need, but it has to be for Roku. It has to be specific.
Okay.
So I got a good team of people working on it. So once that's done, then we can go live, physically live.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So
all right, sir. Well,
yeah, everything's great.
That's outstanding.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all you're doing for us.
Hey, I appreciate letting me come on, man. I got to get out there more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you take care, Al. We want to get off here. We don't want to keep you up too much. So, you take care, and we'll see you later.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Al. Thanks for everything you do, man. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Rob.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for watching, man. It's always nice to get out there. You guys got a great fan base. It's always good to talk to them.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Have a good one.
Hey, when the boss is on, you got to try to get to the,
Oh, I know.
All right. So, I don't know what we got going on next week, but we have shows set up, and don't know what else to say. Outside of everybody be safe.
Yeah, real quick. I got my shirt on. McNella Strong, that's my cousin. She just passed away, unfortunately, but she's battled lung cancer twice now, and she's with the good Lord above. So I'm going to wear a shirt in her honor, and I got it on my jersey from last year. So Godspeed, Miss Joy Lee. We miss you, and you touched a lot of young ladies coaching. She was a coach for a long time, ladies basketball. Okay. So she touched a lot of young ladies, and made them successful.
All right. Well, everybody be safe, and our prayers are with everybody that know her and been associated. And you guys have a great week and rest of the week, and goodbye.